Okay, you guys, I'm so excited for the Zoom. I wanted to go ahead and do a Zoom explaining how to do all of the little things that you should be doing every single day for your business, because so many people are brand new, so many people are getting ready to run, and there's tons of things happening, tons of momentum coming our way. And I just really wanted to make it easy for you, because so many times in this business, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to do anything. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Courtney Wazalowski. I'm a double diamond from North Carolina. I'm from Wisconsin, moved here about 9 months ago. When I started, I was $15,000 in debt and depressed. Now I'm debt-free and loving my life. So this business really can change everything for you, but you need to be willing to do the work. You can't blame your upline. You can't blame your team. You can't blame anyone other than you, okay? You are in control. You determine how successful you are, nobody else. So I want to know, first off, I want you guys to put in the chat what your rank is currently, what your lifetime rank is in the business. Put it in the chat. And what else? Diamond, exciting. Diamond, emerald, love it. Ruby, double, sweet. Ruby, emerald, distributor, ruby, double, emerald. New, so I don't know. Your distributor, Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. Awesome. We have so many different people on. I love it. So I kind of want to do this as a mix of a power hour and training, so that this way it is very hands-on. You're doing it as I tell you about it, so that you know what's happening. So the first thing, so we're just going to hop right in. If anyone has questions, again, like I said, put them in the chat. But the first thing that I want to talk about that I think is one of the most important things is posting. But I thought this was the hardest thing, because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to post. I didn't know when to post. I didn't know what to post. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, so I didn't do anything for 2 years. And that is why I'm doing the Zoom. So the first thing you should know with posting is you should be doing it 3 times a day. Some people do more. I personally feel like 3 times a day is golden for me. Do not post like now and then again in 10 minutes. Do not copy and paste word for word from anybody else. Don't do it. Their post is not going to be shown anymore, and your post is not going to be shown at all. So it's not worth it. Side tip or side note, tip, whatever. Remember, when you're posting, we are not paid based off of our likes or our comments. We're paid off of our enrollments. People are watching whether they like or comment on your stuff or not. So don't base your success off of likes or comments, okay? So daily, I post once about a product, once about the business opportunity, and once about something completely random, not It Works related. Does copy and paste include host posts? I would say yes. Personally, I do not use any specific same post as anybody else. And when I'm sending out host to post, which I'll get into in a second, I always switch out a word or emoji or something, so the post itself is different. So posting, once about the products, once about the business opportunity, once about something random. Your random thing should be somewhat interactive, so you can ask questions, you can show something funny, you can show a cute outfit, whatever it is you want that you think people would comment and interact with. If you never wear makeup, don't post about something with makeup. Does that make sense? Like, make it genuine to you. Who you are is enough. You don't need to be like me. You don't need to be like Tiffany Her. You don't need to be like Cheyenne Knox. You don't need to be like anyone other than you, okay? You are enough. Stop trying to be somebody else, because when you're trying to be somebody else, your team or your team and your following know that you're not being genuine. So just be you. That's all you have to be. There are 4 ways, in my opinion, to post. The first thing is you can post, depending on if you're talking about the business or a product, you can post stories or before and afters. So before and afters and stories product-wise is obviously before and after picture. Very simple. Holy crap, she looks hot. Imagine how good she feels. I'm so excited for her, blah, 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 okay? If you're talking about the business side for before and afters or stories, think of it as like a before and after about the business. So before the business, your girl was $15,000 in debt. Now after being in the business, I'm debt-free. That type of thing. You need to be relatable and vulnerable, that people can relate to the first side of the story. People can relate to being $15,000 in debt. But not everyone can just relate if I'm posting constantly that I average $5,000 a month on my phone. People can't always relate to that, but they can relate to being $15,000 in debt and not being able to buy themselves a cup of coffee from Starbucks if they want to. People can relate to that. Having to put things out of their shopping cart at the store because they can't afford it. Having to check their bank account 10 times before they go to the store because they don't know what they can afford. Okay, that is stuff people can relate to. That is stuff that you might try to hide, but that is what you need to post. That's what's going to get that interaction. You can post your personal testimonies. So before, when I was talking about before and afters and stories, that is somebody else's, but also you can do the same thing with yourself. It's the exact same idea, just about you. So this is going to sell even more so than somebody else's story or somebody else's before and afters. This is why it's so dang important to run your auto ship so that you have your own personal products coming in, so that you have your own personal testimony. So think of it this way. When you go to Starbucks, if you're going to buy, I was there yesterday. When I wanted to buy the tie-dye Frappuccino because I saw someone post about it, when I asked and I said, hey, what does it taste like? If she would have said, I have no idea, I'd have been like, oh, well, I guess I don't really, like, you don't know, you sell it, but you don't know what it is. That's why it's so much easier to sell products when you know what they taste like, you know what they do, you have a personal experience with them. I'm not saying you have to use every single one of our products every single day for the rest of your life, but I have tried every single product except for BFF because it sold out before I could buy it. But everything else I have tried. So when someone comes to me and says, hey, what does the coffee taste like? What does the Greensberry taste like? Even if I don't like it, I have tried it. You don't need to love everything, okay? If you don't want to grow your hair out, you don't need to take hair, skin, and nails for the rest of your life, but take it for a month and see what your results are. And if you don't think the products are worth it to purchase for yourself, why would somebody else purchase products from you? Okay? I told you I'm a rat. I told you I might offend you, but you guys, you need to see value in the products before other people can see value in them. If you don't think the products are worth spending money on, why would somebody else buy them from you? It doesn't make sense. So you have to have your own personal testimony. You have to have your own personal attachment to the products. Like, no one could ever tell me that our keto coffee wasn't good or didn't work. No one could ever tell me. I drink it every single day. I love the energy I get. I don't crash. My face looks like it went like a vacuum behind my head. It got so much slimmer, you guys. Like, no one can tell me that because I have my own personal testimony with it. I have crazy testimony with hair, skin, and nails. So when people come to me and say, oh, I bet it doesn't work, I'm like, well, that's interesting because here's my before and after, so it does. And when you have that conviction to the products, it doesn't matter what people say. So having your own personal before and after stories, whether it's a business or products, golden, okay? Another really easy way is a question. This is something that I like to teach my new distributors to do very early on because coming up with posts is intimidating, okay? It is what it is, especially when you're new to it, you've never posted before. Very easy way is to think of a product and then think of a way to ask a question about it. So if you're thinking about the hair, skin, and nails, you're like, okay, it grows out your hair, your skin, it doesn't grow out your skin, it grows out your hair, your lashes, your nails, and helps your skin. So you could very easily make a post and say, is anyone trying to grow out their hair? Would anybody like longer lashes? Anybody want to improve their skin? Things like that. People are going to comment, and that's a great way for you to reach out to them, okay? The last way is, and you can do that with a business too, like, could anyone use an extra $500 a month? Very simple. With posts, don't overthink it. The last way is something subtle, okay? So this, I do my subtle posts almost always for the product in the morning. So I'll take a picture of, I read my Bible every morning, so I'll take a picture of either like my devotional or the Bible and my cup of coffee. And I'm like, I love starting my mornings with my Bible and skinny coffee. So people know I drink my skinny coffee. And like a week ago, when I was having some health issues and I didn't post it, someone messaged me and they're like, are you not drinking your coffee this morning? I'm so confused. Be that person. Be that consistent, okay? So homework quick. What I want everyone to do is take the time, if you need to turn your video off, to get off, to do the post. I want you to find a product that you want to make a post about. So very simply, you can do the hair, skin, nails. Anybody want to grow out their hair? You can do something about coffee. Is anybody wanting to lose some weight by drinking some delicious coffee? You can do the cleanse. Anybody want to do a 2-day detox and get that gunk out of your junk, or like get that gunk out of your gut, okay? Would anybody like to take a supplement for the next 90 days and lose an average of 30 pounds? Anything super simple. If you're brand new and you don't even know what I'm talking about, use one of those scripts. Just pick one, post it, and you can message me or you're enrolling and be like, I posted this. What do I do? Okay? So If you're brand new and you don't know what you're talking about, just do what your enroller says. Point blank. It's the best way to get to the top. That's how I learned what I did. My enroller quit, didn't stop me. Okay? I figured it out. Yeah. Patty, I said, keep it stupid simple. I'm a little bit ruder. I said, keep it simple, stupid. Like, don't be dumb. Just do it simple. So you can do it on Instagram too. You can very easily do it on your Instagram story. I would not do something that simple on your actual Instagram feed. Can I restate those? Yeah. So is anybody wanting to grow out their hair? Would anybody like to lose weight by drinking coffee? Would anyone like to do a 2-day detox and get rid of toxic sludge out of your gut? Or would anyone take a supplement daily for 90 days and if you knew you would lose about 30 pounds? Something like that. Super simple. Or we have stretch mark cream. You can say, like, does anyone struggle with stretch marks? That's a super easy one. We have a stress supplement that you can say, like, one of my favorite posts that every single time I post it gets me insane interaction. Do I know anyone that struggles with stress and anxiety that would try something for 90 days for me? So many people do. Also, side note, Confianza helps with belly fat because when you're stressed, your belly stores fat. So help with that too. I feel like you struggle with posting because you mostly use Instagram. Cool. We'll talk about Instagram in a little bit. Instagram is a totally different beast. I think one day I'm going to do a training about Instagram. I did one a couple days ago and it just didn't work as well as I wanted to. The product that helps with stress is Confianza. Yeah, thanks, Hannah. Before you guys comment, I know my face is like red and my body is like yellow-ish, whatever. I did self-tanner and I don't put it on my face because I'll break out like crazy. And I didn't want to put makeup on, so sorry. Okay, so cool. Make that post about the question. If you guys, can you guys put done in the comments or in the chat so I know once everyone's done with that so we can move on to the next thing. Tips with posting on Instagram. Instagram is totally different. Your Instagram feed, you only need to post about once a day on your actual feed. Your stories are different. We'll talk about stories in a second, but you're going to post on Facebook for this one. And don't worry about people not commenting. They will. Promise. So Instagram, when you're posting on your actual feed, it needs to be a high quality picture, not a Snapchat picture with the puppy ears and a tongue, okay? High quality picture, and you need to use some sort of filter so that your page looks cohesive. If you are on my team, and I can share it in the chat later tonight, I have a Google Drive link that has a bunch of Lightroom presets that I have pre-purchased for everyone that they can download. I can share that later. Pick a preset that you like and stick to it so that all of your pictures are cohesive. So like for me personally, my Instagram uses dark green and beige. For whatever reason, that's what works with all my pictures. So that's the filter that I use for every single picture. And when you use the same preset, the pictures will look cohesive. Instagram is all about aesthetics and visuals. So it's not as much about the words. People follow you or unfollow you based on your pictures that you post. So that's why your pictures can be super high quality with Instagram. Yeah, Hannah, you can share your presets, but you have to do it in a specific way. Like you have to download the file and upload it a certain way. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So messaging. I want you guys to comment or put in the chat a number 1 if you have ever been afraid of sending messages. I want to know. Yeah. Yes. We all have. It's so normal. It's so normal. I was so terrified of sending messages. I'm like, dude, if I send a message, they're going to block me and think I'm like the super scammy person. And I don't know, this is just not going to be good. Anyone else feel like that? That you're like, no, ma'am. No, thanks. Guess what? You are failing yourself. You are screwing yourself over. Okay? Here's why. Not only because you're not sending out messages, but because you think by messaging them, it's doing them a disservice. Here's the deal. You not messaging them is doing them a disservice. If this business has done anything positive for you, put a 2 in the chat. Anything positive. Whether it has given you hope, it has given you money, it has helped you feel more confident. Okay, you guys see all these people in the chat that have put in tons and tons of 2s? This is what you're missing out on if you're not sending people messages. They don't get this chance. If you're not sending them the message, they don't get that help. They don't get the money. They don't get to feel more confident. You are doing them a disservice by not messaging them. You messaging them isn't bad. You not messaging them is bad, okay? So you can message for 3 different things. Do that, and here's my disclaimer for this, okay? When messaging, do not message someone the second they accept your friend request or follow you, or you follow them, okay? Do not, I swear to God, I will find you and I will hurt you. Do not do it. It is rude, because then guess what? Instead of you helping them, they feel like you're using them, that you don't actually care about them. So you need to be interacting with them, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but interact with them first. Make sure they know who you are, okay? So if you're going to message about loyal customers, I will put, I should have done this earlier, but I didn't. I did not. You guys, reds, if you are a red, you know, like you just have these ideas and you're like, I'm going to do it. And then you don't actually think it through and you're like, I didn't plan as well as I should have. That's a red. Okay. So I'm going to put, oh, of course, and my texture placement won't work right now. It's wonderful. Let's see where I have it saved somewhere. Why isn't this working? Well, I'll share my message in a second. So I'll try to figure out as I talk. So you can message for loyal customers, distributors, or for host to post. For distributors, and you guys, I will share my scripts, but please, for the love of God, do not copy and paste it, because again, I will find you and I will hurt you. Okay, cool. Here is what I say for host to post. My first message is, can I ask you something? Okay, super simple. Again, do not think too far into it. Okay, just don't. Just stop it. Just stop overthinking everything, okay? People aren't going to look at your message and be like, if she used a smiley face emoji instead of a heart, I would answer her. If she used an exclamation point instead of a question mark, I would answer her. No, it's not how it goes. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, but you also can't say the right thing to the wrong person, okay? It is what it is. Okay, so for distributors, I like to keep it super, super simple, and I say, I use 2, and I don't know the exact verbiage because it's in text replacement, but it's something along the lines of super random, but have you ever thought about making some extra money from social media? Second, you keep popping up on my feed and I can't help but think you'd be so good at what I do. Could you use some extra money? Something along those lines is what I use for distributor messages. To go from there, you guys, I do have scripts, but I don't really follow them because every conversation is different, and I don't want someone to feel like my conversation with them is your routine. So I will use my text replacement, and I will switch up words. I will make sure it makes sense to them, because otherwise they can tell that you're a robot, okay? I have been that person that I've been talking to a guy about hair, skin, and nails, and because I use text replacement, I'm like, you'll be obsessed, girl. And they're like, my name's Mark. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, don't bulldoze over people. They're not just a number. They are a person. They're a living human being. They have a heart and they matter. So don't just bulldoze over them like they don't matter, okay? For loyal customer message, I do this the least, the absolute least, okay? But I'll share it anyways because some people really like it. It works really well for some people. Before sending this message, I only message when I do it on Instagram, and I will go to their page and I will like 10 to 15 pictures. And you'll see why in a second. But my message is, hey, hope I'm not bothering you, but I seriously love your profile. I'm not creepy, I promise. Sorry for the 10 million likes, LOL. Wanted to reach out and see if you'd be interested in being a product reviewer for me. I have a couple products that I'm able to offer for my wholesale pricing on, to some of my Instagram followers. Is that something you'd be interested in? So, no, you don't have to use the scripts, you guys. Just, if you know what you're talking about, the scripts are only there as like a base, so that you kind of get an idea of what to talk about. But if you don't, like, if you know what you're saying, you don't need to follow a script. And use a script that someone gives you and read it out loud. And if it doesn't sound like something you'd say, you need to tweak it until it sounds like you. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So like, I call people love and babe all the time. Some of you would never say that in your life. So don't send a message that says like, hey love, how's it going, babe? Because that's dumb. If that's not you, don't say it. So then from all of that, I just go into like, after they say yes, I'm just like, awesome. Like, I super appreciate your time. I'm looking for someone who has a couple of the following goals, or like what makes most sense to you. And then I just talk about a couple different products and go from there. Host a post. My first message, like I said, is the can I ask you something? And then my team, I always do a giveaway, but I just say something like, I was just wondering if you could do a post for me. My team is going for a huge promotion and mean the world for me to be able to help them. You would just copy and paste a post that I send you and I'll do the rest. Since you're helping me a ton, I'll enter you into my massive giveaway drawing for blank. Would you be willing to help me and do that? So many people say yeah, okay? Yeah, Patty calls people darling. If I call people darling, they'd be like, what? And also, if you're sending a script that you don't feel comfortable with, you're gonna feel weird sending it out. I did a Zoom last night about about a lot of things like making a comeback, but mainly your mindset. If you go into a message being like, well, this sounds really, really like not me, you're gonna feel weird messaging it. You're gonna get really bad results. Can I say what I usually say to a message to a potential distributor? Do I like some things on their page prior? So I interact a ton on Instagram, which is where I message for distributors. To be honest, I don't really message a ton for distributors anymore because a lot of them come to me. I probably get 5 to 10 messages a day about people being distributors. However, that is just because of the platform that I've built and because of what I share. So I do always interact. They know who I am. I go live a ton. Like, I have a relationship with them, so they know who I am. But I will definitely like or comment on a picture before I message them, whether that's Facebook or Instagram. So what I want you guys to do first for this, before you say done, I just want you to send 10 messages right now asking people to be a distributor. So this is super, it might be scary for you, but I'll put something in the chat, I'll type it out, and you can just copy and paste it. Well, don't copy and paste it. Read it out loud, and if it doesn't sound like something you'd say, then fix it, okay? You don't need to use 10 million emojis. You don't need to look like a fake person. You guys, like, make it sound like you. You don't need this. Here's something that when I realized this, my business took off. There is no magic message. There is no magic script. There is no magic anything. It is just the action, okay? If you don't have enough potentials, you don't have enough enrollments, you're not talking to enough people. Point blank, that's all it is. It's not that you have a bad message. It's not that you have a bad script. You're just not doing enough. And if that hurts, it's because you know you're not doing enough. Okay, so I just sent something that I would send. If you wouldn't say you'd seriously be bombed, don't say that. Just send 10 messages quick. Put done in the chat once you are done, so I know to move on. People always ask me how many messages I send a day. And that is honestly super different depending on every day. I try to send at least 100 messages a day, whether it's between host to post or whatever I'm doing. But it really depends on what's happening that day. Some days I can only get out 20, and then other days I can get out 400. So it just really depends. What does you'd seriously be bomb actually mean? See, so that's, oh my gosh, I love that you asked that, because it shows that, like, that is my personality. That's something I would say, but if you're like, what does that even mean? Don't say that. But basically, what I'm saying by that, what I mean by you'd seriously be bomb is you'd be so good at this. I think you'd be amazing. Something like that. But I personally would tell people, like, oh my gosh, you'd seriously be bomb at this. If you wouldn't say that, don't say it. I'm not magical. My scripts aren't magical. I just send a bunch. I try to send at least 100 host posts per today. So far, I've only gotten to about 50 to 60 with 17 up. Yeah, you'd explode at this. Whatever, like, whatever it is that you would say that. That's all it is. So comment done in the chat once you have that done. The next thing we're going to talk about is growing your network. So I love this. And you guys, if you're terrified of messaging, do it anyways. Do it anyways. You have all these people here with you that know that you're doing it, and I'll know if you don't do it. Not that I really matter, but I'll know, okay? I'll know. Super random, but I seriously think you'd rock at what I do. Have you ever considered making extra income from your phone? Yeah, that's another great message. Yeah, it's okay to be scared. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be scared. Just press in. If you feel like you need to throw your phone across the room, you can, but then go pick it up so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Okay? It's like, guys, take it back to like middle school when you're at your best friend's house and you're like in the basement and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to send him a message. Like, should I use 2 Y's in hey? Should I use an exclamation point or a smiley face, and then you send it and you want to throw your phone across the room? Yeah, don't act like you haven't done that. Don't act like I was the only one that tried to figure out how many Y's to put in their first message. Okay? Don't. I was terrified to send messages the first 3 months, totally reflected when it came to time to promote. As soon as you started being more afraid to miss out on the yeses instead of the nos, my business took off. Yes, I love that kind of. Be more afraid of missing out on the yeses than you are afraid of getting the nos. The answer is always no if you don't ask. Get your asking gear. Yeah. Joel Dunn says be a professional asshole. I think it's the greatest thing ever. I love stuff like that. Awesome. Yeah, 2 people already replied. You guys, I message people that I'll talk about in a little bit today about Host to Post. I'll send something that I have been doing recently that's helped me a ton. But people that they've never commented or liked on anything other than did a Host Post for me, they're so interested in the business. I'm like, what the heck? Why would you message me? You don't know the answer is no unless you ask a question. Yeah. And here's the deal. Again, here's my red coming at you. Who cares if they say no? Who cares? Who cares if they ignore you? I was talking to a girl on my team named Melissa just about an hour ago she was like, oh, people ignored me or people said no. And she was like, did I do something wrong? And I was like, no. All that is that, you guys think of it like if you were a waitress, which if you've been a waitress, hey, I was too. When I went to someone's table and I asked if they wanted an appetizer or if they wanted coffee, if they said no, I didn't go and cry in the corner. I didn't decide that I was never going to ask them if they wanted an appetizer or coffee again. It was just that person didn't want an appetizer or coffee at that time. But you never know if the next time they come in or 10 times later, if I ask the same question, if they would want it then. Stop taking everything so personally. Who cares if people ignore you? Who cares if people say no? Who cares if people cuss you out? Who cares if people block you? Because guess what? None of those people pay your bills. So stop letting it affect you. It doesn't matter. Same thing if people quit. It doesn't matter. They don't pay your bills. Okay? People I messaged ignored me. Next. Yeah, great. Who cares? You know what I love? If you've never read the book called Go for No, read it. It's by... No, it's right here. Let me figure out who it's by. Oh! Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. This is the book. I'm going to give this book away because I read it. So at the end of this Zoom, I'll do a giveaway for it. So we'll just hang tight for that. But when people block me, I get excited. You know why? Because I can only have 5,000 friends on Facebook. So if they block me, I'm like, heck yeah, the position's open. I can fill that with someone else. Guys, it doesn't matter. Who cares? But bartending for years, we're always upselling drinks and appetizers. It never cared if they said no. Offers on the table. That's all it is. You guys, it's when they say no, it's not they're saying no to you. It's if you say, hey, are you interested in making extra money on Instagram? And they say no, their no is not, no, I hate you, you're a terrible person. It's, no, I'm good, I'm not really interested. Or sometimes that no is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Okay? That no doesn't mean that they're actually not interested. It could be, no, I don't believe in myself. Message you were sending out is just something about ask people to join your team. So whether that's, I think Elizabeth put one in here. Hey girl, super random, but I seriously think you'd rock at what I do. Have you ever considered making an extra income from your phone? And then I said, super random, but have you ever considered making some extra money from here? You'd seriously be bomb. So just make it sound like you, send 10 of them. But the next thing that we're going to talk about is growing your network. This is something that is the biggest thing part of your business. It's so easy to do, but so many people skip it. So many people skip it. If I could go back to the beginning and tell myself one thing, I'd say start growing your network now. Like yesterday, just do it, okay? So my rule of thumb, and I'll show exactly how I do it. I add 15 friends a day on Facebook, and I follow at least 100 people a day on Instagram. This does not take me more than 5 minutes each, okay? Like, it does not take me long. The reason why I follow 100 on Instagram and only 15 on Facebook is because they're two totally different things. Facebook, you need to make sure that they are very, not connected to you, but like if you look at their page and you're like, yeah, I would actually be friends with them in real life, add them. Go to their page before you add them. Make sure that they're not with It Works or another company. Make sure that their page is active. That, like, if the last time they posted was in March of 2010, don't add them, okay? Make sure that their page is not super negative or filled with like drugs and drinking and cuss words and all this stuff. Just don't do it. I promise. I've been there, done that. Don't do it. And make sure that it's someone that like you could relate to. If like, so say if you, how do I want to say this? Like, if you are someone that is like the girliest girly girl of the world, don't add someone that is like the complete opposite of that. Not that they're a bad person or that you're a bad person, but you're not going to mesh, which means they're not going to like connect to you. Does that make sense? Let me put a 3 in the chat if that makes sense. Because I feel like that's super important with growing your network. They need to be like you. Because if they're not, it's not gonna mesh, okay? So when growing your network, my favorite ways to do it on Facebook is I will go to some sort of group page that I'm in, whether it's we have 4 pugs, so like a pug page, something with makeup, boutiques that I'm in, stuff like that. That is where I add from. I'm not going to tell you specific groups of things because it doesn't matter the specific group. It's just something that connects to you again. So there's that connection. And again, please, for the love of God, do not message them the second they accept your friend request, or even I've had people that message me, like they send me a friend request and then message me before I even accept it. Don't do it. You look terrible. Just don't do it. Okay, it's not good. So yeah, about 15 friends a day I add on Facebook. That is not 15 accepted friend requests. I just send out 15 a day. Okay, and then maybe once a month, go to your your outgoing friend requests and delete the ones that didn't accept you. For Instagram, I'm going to attempt to share my screen. Maybe. Sometimes Zoom really hates me and it's like, nah, girl, not gonna happen. Let's see if I can get it to work. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Cool. So here is Instagram, okay? This bottom little search magnifying glass down here is what I use. So you can either just go straight up from your Discover page. This is who Instagram thinks you are most like or have the most in common with. Uh-oh, it shows my Instagram is unstable. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, okay, cool. So you can pick whatever you want. So you could just go to this, like here, this is Raven from The Bachelorette. I watch Bachelorette. So then I would go to their likes and I just go down and I click follow. Usually I can get through like 3 and then I start checking the last one to make sure it actually went through because Instagram will block you, okay? If you don't want to do that way, you can search by like places. So like Sweet Magnolia State, this is where I'm getting married in a year. So I will follow people that were there or near me, or you can search like tags, which these are all workouts, but like you can search whatever you want and just follow people from there. You can search bands that you like. You can search restaurants, stores, brands, whatever it is. Again, there's that connection. There's something that connects to you. Okay. So after you get that follow back or the interaction is done or the, like, growth is done, you need to interact. But what I want you to do first, I want you to send out 10 friend requests on Facebook, and just for now, make a mental note to follow 100 people on Instagram later. So add 10 people on Facebook and comment done in the chat when you are done. Actually, because this takes longer, just make a mental note to do this later and move on to the next thing. Because sometimes like adding people on Facebook takes me longer than I want it to, because like I feel like Inspector Gadget, really trying to figure out who they are if I want to friend request them. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is interacting. You guys, there is no rhyme or reason to this. There's no special sauce. There's no nothing. You just need to do it, okay? My rule of thumb, I go to my recent friends or recent followers on Instagram. Facebook, you can just go to your profile and go to friends and click recent and go through there. Instagram, you can go to your followers and you can filter it by like latest, I think, and it'll show you the people that followed you recently. My rule of thumb, I will either comment on 2 pictures or posts, or I will like 5 pictures. The reason for that, if someone likes 1 picture, I don't really care. If I see them like multiple pictures, I'm like, who the heck are they? And then when you comment on it or like a bunch of pictures, they're going to go to your page, and that's where your bomb posts matter. Because then they're like intrigued by like, what the heck? Look at these results from the Skinny Coffee. What even is this? I've never seen this before. That is how this all works together. Great. So that's interacting. Make sure your comments are genuine. So like, don't, for the love of God, make sure your comment is at least like 3 to 5 words. Don't go to their post and just be like, cute, love it, awesome. What even is that? What are you saying? Like, compliment them. Be like, oh my gosh, your hair is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that shirt. Where's it from? Ask questions people like to tell you about themselves. Promise. Especially Reds. I'll tell you about myself all day and day. Tell you how great I am, even though sometimes I don't think that. But my affirmations tell me I am. Okay? So, that's interacting, okay? Stories. So, if you are not posting to your Facebook and Instagram daily, like your stories, you're missing out. You need to be posting to your Instagram. My rule of thumb is at least 5 slides 5 times a day. Does that make sense? So like a series for me, like 5 different pictures that all kind of are cohesive 5 times a day. And then my regular life too. So I post about like my food, or I post whenever I work out, I post like my exercise for that day because people like that. But just posting on your stories, because the more you post to your stories, you'll keep going to the front and people will continually see it. The top 3 apps that I use to make my Instagram stories are, I'll pull them up in my app store so you can see it. The first one that I use is Over. It looks like this. This is Over. I use this as, you can make graphics and text and all that fun stuff. If you are on my direct team, let me know and I will send you my login so you can use that, the pro account I paid for. This is one is called Mojo. This is how, if you see my stories that have like videos, that's from Mojo. And then the other app that I don't really use as much anymore, but it's called Unfold. It looks like this. Those are the top 3 that I use to make my Instagram stories, but sometimes I'm lazy and I just go to Pinterest, okay? Straight up, that's the real sauce, okay? That's the real deal. So I have 10 million saved on my Pinterest. If you're on my team, I have a couple of my favorite Pinterests that I have ideas from, and I have them uploaded in our uploads too. But you guys, if you start looking at them on Pinterest, then they'll continually show up. I don't know how. It's kind of creepy, but it's kind of like if you're on Victoria's Secret and then you go to Facebook and then it's like there's an ad for Victoria's Secret and you're like, what the heck? Who's watching me? That's how it goes, okay? So there are tons and tons and tons of ideas. Like here's one that just popped up on my on my Pinterest. Like here's a weight loss challenge. Okay, there's before and after pictures. It's cute. It makes you want to look at it. It is what it is. Okay. Side note. when it comes to stories and your posts, do not, for the love of God, post anything that looks like this, okay? Oh, Jesus. Don't do it. Again, I will find you and I will hurt you. If people wanted to see posts that looked like that, they'd go to It Works Corporate's page, okay? They want to see you. If the picture you're posting doesn't look like you personally could have taken it, whether you took it or not, don't post it. And if you don't know whether you should post it or not, message me, message your upline, message someone, and be like, would you post this? Because I will straight up tell you no. I don't care. No. And if I see someone on my team post it, I'll message them and be like, take that down. No, that's not what we do. So like 25 slides a day. Yeah, that's the goal. Sometimes it does not happen, but that's what I like to do. And I like to do like right when I wake up in the morning, and then like a couple hours later, and like every 3-ish hours, I'll like make a note to myself to do that. So if you are someone that like you're very scatterbrained, if you're a blue personality and you're scatterbrained and you're like, I don't even know what's happening, set up reminders or alarms in your phone. Like you can set up a message or a reminder for messaging. You can just say like send 10 messages, which is smarter than sending like 100 at a time. And then if you're like for posting to your story, just do it like every couple of hours. What if your life is boring, just work, incident, and home? That's fine. Do you know how many other people have lives like that? That doesn't matter. Show that. Take a picture of your feet up on your coffee table being like, love that I get to work from my couch. Love it. Doesn't matter. Take a picture of like find this cute office that one day you want to be like, oh my God, look how cute this office is. Doesn't matter. Just, again, be you. Guys, I work from home, so like my life really isn't that interesting unless I go shopping and spend all my money, okay? It is what it is. Oh, we're going to go back a second for posting. Do not wait to post about the business opportunity until you have a story of your own. Don't feel like you need to make thousands of dollars a month before you talk about it. Don't think that you can't grow a team because you just started and you don't know what you're doing yet. One, your enroller will help you train them. Okay? This business is a lot more fun when you have a team and people to run with. Promise. Promise, promise, promise. Second, your story, if you're like, girl, I literally just started today, I do not have any sort of story, that's okay. Talk about what this business will do for you in the future. If you don't want to talk about that, which I think you should, then find someone else's story and post that. Okay? And you guys, it doesn't need to like, it doesn't need to be this big, I paid off, like, yeah, I love posting that I paid off $15,000 of debt and I'm paying for my dream wedding. Sometimes that scares people. Sometimes it's the fact that I can just buy a $5 Starbucks Frappuccino if I want to. It doesn't always need to be big things. People can't relate to that. But sometimes it's like, if I post that I filled up my gas tank, it's like, I remember the days that I would have to put in $2.37 because that's all I had in my bank account. People can relate to that. That's real life. Okay? Yeah, like, take a picture of traffic and say how much you can't wait for the day you don't have to sit anymore. So true. Instagram was looking awful with posts that were gross like that, took them down. Yeah, that's fine. Okay? Just take them, just don't do it. Start over. Kenna said, signed 20 DTs within 3 weeks and she had no story, but she was vulnerable and told them what it was going to do for her. Yeah, you guys, you don't need a story yet. You will have a story. Talk about what your story will be. Claim, if you're brand new, you started this month, talk about how you're going to earn a $10,000 bonus in 90 days. That'll catch people's attention, and then breathe belief into yourself that it's going to happen. That'll get people talking to you. Promise. Okay? So follow-ups. This is such a tricky thing, okay? You need to figure out what works for you with follow-ups and start now. Keep track of people. Whether you need to have a list in your phone, you need to write it down in a planner, on your iPad, in a notebook, random Post-it notes, whatever makes sense for you, do it. Write every single person that you talk to down, whether they ignore you or not, write them down, okay? You need to know who your potentials are. My rule of thumb for following up, yeah, I use Connect, love it. I need to get all my potentials in there, but that's a great app. If you don't know much about Connect, it's golden, okay? But what I do for how I follow up after 2 days after I initially talk to them, 2 weeks, and 2 months. So 2 days after, I mean, it's different if they say, oh, I'll order on this specific date, then obviously that's different. But following up, it does not need to be, again, not this magic script, but it can just be like, how does that sound? Do you have any more questions? Do you still want the discounted spot? Is there anything I can help you with? What do you think? Super simple. It doesn't need to be, hey babe, no, just super simple. People don't have time to read the 6-paragraph message, okay? Their kid just spilled Kool-Aid on their cat. They don't have time for it. They don't care about all these different things, I promise. So make sure tonight before you go to bed, you are growing your network, interacting, posting on your stories, okay? And you're following up with, just write down everyone that you talked to today so that you can start getting consistent with that. Host a post. I am going to tell you some numbers that I do not want to scare you. If it scares you, figure out a number that doesn't scare you. What I would say, if you want to go Ruby this month and you have 0, you need to be getting at least 10 host posts up every single day. If you want to go Emerald, you need to get at least 20. Diamond, you need to get at least 30 a day up. Not 30 messages, 30 up, okay? So again, you can message people. Can I ask you something? Would you put up a post for me? If you don't have a script for it, message your upline and say, hey, I want to do some host posts. Do you have a script I can follow? Okay? So try to get 10, 20, 30, however many up you want a day. Remember that your action determines your outcome. So if you want 10 million customers, if you want to be like someone that signs 60 customers in a month, you need to get that much action out. When I was signing 40, 50, 60 customers a month, I was getting 40, 50, 60 host posts up every single day. So figure that out, okay? Host a post, a couple tips. Do not say weight loss, skinny, comment below. Facebook hates host a post because some people are doing it now. Other companies are catching on to it. They're trying to do the same thing. If you're going to say like weight loss, comment below, skinny, my friend, whatever, put spaces in between, use different fonts. Like you can search like Instagram font generator or something. It shows you different fonts that Facebook doesn't pick up on. Make sure you're constantly switching your verbiage and your pictures and emojis. For me personally, the best host posts that I get up are general weight loss, hair, skin, nails, and confianza, and distributors. My distributor host posts work very well for me too. Something that I do for host posts about a month, so like I keep a collection of them in my saved folder on Facebook, and I go back to, so like I just literally did it today. I went to everyone that did a host post for me in June, and I say, let me figure out the actual verbiage, because I say, hey, not sure if you've seen my post or not, but I just looked back at the post you put up for me a little bit ago and noticed how many comments you got on it. Can't help but think you'd be amazing at what I do, and it's literally only $50 to join right now. Plus, you get $100 of free products, so obviously it's a win-win. Would it be okay if I gave you a little bit more info about what I do? Not a magic script. I'm just saying, hey, you did this. People commented on it, which means your friends are interested. I breathe belief into you. I think you'd be great at this. Can I give you more info? Some people are going to say no. That's fine. I don't care. What do I use for Confianza word? I never thought of doing a host post for it. The reason I like host posts for Confianza is because a lot of people have stress and a lot of people don't want stress. So for my Confianza host post is kind of like the questions thing earlier. Does anybody struggle with stress and anxiety that would be willing to try something for 90 days? Comment below, because my girl blank has some details to share with you. Can I share that again? Yes. Hey babe, not sure if you've seen my post or not, but I just looked back at the post you put up for me a little bit ago and noticed how many comments you got on it. I can't help but think you'd be amazing at what I do, and it's literally only $50 to join right now. Plus, you get over $100 of free products, so it's a win-win. Would it be okay if I gave you a little bit more info about what I do? Super, super simple. Okay? Now, The last thing that I'm going to share is the most important thing. And if you don't do it, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Okay? You're cutting your business off at the neck. It is what it is. You need to be doing self-development every day. So if right now I want to know what paycheck amount, put it in the chat, what paycheck amount would you see that you would just like die? That you'd be like, how is this even real? Like, how is my paycheck this amount? What would like freak you out that you're like, oh my goodness? Put it in the chat. 10,000, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000, 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, 510, 510, 2, 3, 3, 5, 15. Yeah, Elizabeth. If you said over 10,000, we're gonna be friends. We're gonna be friends. Now, I want you to be completely honest. And I get this, I saw this on a training from Ashley Mayfield. How many books have you completely finished reading in the past 90 days? Be honest. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 4. I counted today. Do you know how many I finished in the past 90 days? 17. 17 books I finished in the past 90 days. Now, I'm not saying I'm some superhero, okay? I'm not. Yes, it helps that I work from home, but I'm very intentional about my time. I know that self-development is very important, and that's what I do, okay? Audiobooks, great. If you work out, I listen to either audiobooks or recently I've been doing training videos while I work out, and it's because I like listening to red personalities, so it's like they're yelling at me about the business, but also it like fires me up for my workouts, and I'm like, yes, I got this. But books, my way of doing it, I read at least one chapter every single night. If you need a list of books to read, let me know, ask her upline, we can share with you 10 million books. This one, I literally read in a day. I just sat and read it, which I am giving this book away at the end of this to figure out why or like what I'm going to do for it, but I'll figure it out. A couple books that I personally think have changed my business. 1, You Are a Badass is a great book. 2, Girl Wash Your Face, Girl Stop Apologizing, they're really, really good. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. If you struggle with money, highly recommend that. The Slight Edge, The Compound Effect. One book that, okay, here, it's a very weird book. It's called Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. It's about your mind and like the law of attraction. It is kind of weird. Like if you're Christian and you believe in God, like you might get a little bit offended by it because they're kind of like, not that it down talks it, but it's just like has some really weird things that I've like been like, I don't know about that. But most of it's really good. Eric Warren's really great books. Yeah, so try to read one book a month. Anything's better than nothing. Let's see. Had someone message me about joining and they weren't sure if they have the time for this business. I love when people tell me they don't have the time because you know what I say back? Totally get it. How much time do you think it takes to be successful? 99% of the people will say, I have no idea. And I'm like, then how do you know you don't have time? You don't even know what you need. How do you know you don't have time? Like, come on now. Don't lie to yourself. That's just a way out. Don't lie to me. So my self-development routine, I wake up in the morning, I make my coffee. I read my devotional, which I use Jesus Calling, Jesus Always, something like that. And then I have a chronological Bible that I read like that days, whatever. And then I journal and do my affirmations and meditation in the morning. I journal as if it is already happening and be so in detail that it's like you're writing a book or a script or like whatever it is for a movie or whatever. So that it's so in detail. Like, what's the weather like? What does it sound like? What are you wearing? What day is it? Like so in detail as if it's already happening. Make sure that whatever you're writing out in your affirmations and your thoughts, it is not coming from a place of lacking. Because if you are doing affirmations and all this stuff like, oh, I'm a diamond and I want to be diamond and so I can pay all my bills. Well, guess what? Your subconscious is like, okay, so she wants this because she can't pay her bills. So yeah, we still can't pay her bills. That's reminding yourself you don't have it. So instead, flip that script and figure out a way to write out your affirmations in a way that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, okay? And then I figure out a way to watch or listen to at least one training video on YouTube every single day, because I firmly believe that the best people are always learning. So like, I want to be the best, so I'm going to continually learn. My favorite app, which I will show you guys because it is life-changing. It is called Musi. Oh yeah, the strangest secret is good. And then the book, The Secret, is really good too. They're like kind of the same thing. I mean, not really, but yeah. Musi is the greatest thing ever. It looks like this. Oh, low battery. Looks like this. It allows you to listen to YouTube videos without being on the YouTube app, so you can play it and like still be working or doing whatever the heck you want to do. So those are the main things about what to do, how to work your business every single day. How to spell it is MUSI. It is wonderful. Wonderful. Does anybody else have any specific questions? Any specific questions before I end the recording? And then I'm going to end the recording, and then we'll do the giveaway. How do I go through sent friend requests? Oh my gosh, you're sending a distributor from those outgoing messages. Jessica, were you afraid to send the messages? Were you like, oh! Were you afraid of it? Thank you for telling me you're amazing. That's wonderful to hear. Thanks. How do you go through sent friend requests? You go to, let me see. They always update it. So I don't know. You go to your, yeah, so let me see if I can find it. Well, you might have to do it on your computer, but usually there was a part of Friends that you could show as outgoing. I just did it like a week or two ago. So I would say YouTube it. If I ever don't know how to do something, I just YouTube it. And I'm like, newest Facebook update, how to look at outgoing friend requests, and then I figure that out. How do you boost your teammates' posts? I have a list of everyone that is like working hard, and I just go through and comment on their posts every single day. That's just what I do. I don't know. I just feel like that's easiest. But let them know that you're going to do that if they're brand new, because otherwise they're like, why did you comment on it? Like, are you actually interested in growing your hair? And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be nice. Do I use any apps for Instagram to add or delete? I use the app called Cleaner, I think it's called. I only do it about once a week-ish. And be very careful with doing it. It looks like this. You do have to pay for, not the app, but like to be able to use it. And I use the Cloud Queue so that it just like does it throughout the day and not like 200 at a time. What is the app? That's that one. Okay. Thank you. I do tell it like it is, which if you're a very strong yellow, you might be offended. Like it's literally every single Zoom. I'm like, I'm so sorry if I offend you. Because it's not coming from a place of like anger or meanness or anything like that. It's just like, that's my personality. I'm just going to yell at you until you get it. That's just what I do. What does my day look like? When do you work? How long? Okay, so I will tell you both ways. When I was working full-time, so I used to work full-time, I'm retired now, but when I worked full-time, I had to leave my house by 8-ish. So I was up around 5:30. I worked from 5:30 till 6:45-ish. I took a 15-minute nap from 6:45 to 7, got ready from 7, left at 8-ish, okay? Then when I got home at 5, my boyfriend at the time, fiance now, knew that like when I got home, we went to the gym, to dinner, and that was it. And then it was like, don't talk to me, I'm working. And then I was up, I worked from probably 8 till 11 p.m., if not later. So sometimes I only got 3 hours of sleep, but guess what? I didn't care because I knew one day I wouldn't need to do that because I'd be able to retire myself. Do the things you don't want to do now because then you can do the things that other people can't do. Does that make sense? Work based off of what you want forever, not what you want now. Work off of what you want, not how you feel. How you feel doesn't matter. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care. I don't care. Do it anyways. Now, okay, I forgot I was going to tell you what I do now. So now when I wake up, I have had some health issues in the past couple weeks. So my wake up time has been different than usual, but usually I wake up around 8:30, make my coffee, come straight to my desk because I found if I sit at my couch, I'm not productive. It doesn't work. I just get comfy with blankets and cuddle with the puppies and then I'm like, okay, it's been 4 hours. I haven't done anything. So if it's nice out, I'll go sit on our deck, but otherwise I just come sit here. I do my self-development. That's the first and foremost thing. I need to get my mind right. I need to get in a good positive place. Otherwise I'm just donezo, okay? After I do my self-development, I write out my list of everything I want to get done that day. And before I do anything else, I make sure that I have my posts up, my stories up. I've sent out some sort of message and I've answered all of my unread messages. And then I just work it every day whenever I have time. Okay, just here and there. Don't tell me you don't have time for the business. If you have time to poop, you have time to do this business. It does not take 8 hours straight, okay? Don't tell me that you can't do it. And you're like, oh my God, I can't sit there for 8 hours. Cool, I don't either. Don't care. Don't come to me with your excuses, because if your excuses are bigger than your why isn't big enough, okay? Your excuses don't matter. They don't matter. Do it anyways. What test is this to take your color? I think I have it. Let me look in my texture place, and I have it saved because for a while I was having my, thank you, Patty. Yeah, that's the test to find your color. Overnight schedule on the days your husband works. Okay, that's fine. Work whenever you want. Hannah, you're retiring this month. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Side note, the first week after you retire, you just want to sleep all day long, and then you're like, okay, that's probably not healthy. That's probably not going to do anything. Literally, I slept forever. What do you recommend if you don't have a desk or a space for one in the house? Sit on a not comfy chair. Don't sit somewhere that you can relax and get comfy, and just don't sit somewhere not comfortable. Sit on the floor if you have to. If you sit somewhere comfortable, on your bed or in your on your couch or in a recliner, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to want to cuddle up. Okay, don't do it. Terrified and excited, normal. Do your full time, have been doing this whenever you get breaks at work. Yeah, you guys, I would sneak my phone. When I worked full time, I sold insurance and I would be like, yeah, I'm sending out messages, I'm calling people, as the phone was ringing, I might have my phone under my desk sending messages. Because I was so dedicated. I didn't care. At the end of it, my boss knew, at first he tried to get me to stay and he was like, I cannot match the income you make from It Works. Make that much money. That your 9 to 5 is I cannot afford to keep you because you clearly are worth more than that. You are. You are not worth, you are worth so much more than $12 an hour. For the love of God, do not let your $12 an hour keep you from making $12,000 a month. $130,000 a month. It doesn't matter. Stop thinking small. You are worth more than you have. You're not meant to live this small life. God wanted you to have this amazing big life with so many opportunities. You guys, money doesn't mean that you're better than everyone, but money gives you options. You know how cool it is to me? This is not bragging. I love when I'm scrolling through my Facebook. A couple weeks ago, I saw someone that she was in a freak accident and her son became disabled. Do you know how cool it was that not even blink an eye, I could send money to her and be like, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I hope this helps. Do you know how cool that is? Not that it's because it's not that I'm like, oh, look how much money I have, but because of what the work I've put in, because of how God has blessed me, I can help other people. I have more than I need. So now I can bless other people. If you're like, oh, I don't need much more money, cool. Get more money so you can help more people. Because I promise you, the day that you can make people cry because of helping them, it makes sense. You guys, it is worth it when you get to that point. The hard times, the hard days, it's all so dang worth it. So push through it. Stop letting yourself quit. Take quitting off the table. You're not doing it. Because guess what? If you quit now, you're always going to wonder what if. Guys, for the first 2 years, I was afraid. I didn't do anything for the first 2 years. I could have quit, but there was something deep down inside me that I was like, I'm going to need this one day. Okay. I decided, and I know people have gone a lot faster than me, but I decided in February that I was going to run. You guys, by October, I was a double diamond with a $6,000 paycheck. 8 months. 8 months from now, if you give it everything you got, probably even less than that, you can have a $6,000 paycheck. Stop selling yourself short. You are worth so much more than you have. You're worthy of a bigger life. I promise you. I promise you. So you guys, with that, I'm going to end the recording. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you are on live, stay on because I'm going to do the giveaway for the book.